Good evening and welcome to the March 23rd, 2021, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. Before we get started, I'd like to read the message from the governor. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open, and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, IT Director, at 978-772-8220, extension 150, or Heather Hampson, Administrative Coordinator, at hhampson@ayer.ma.us, or 978-772-8220, extension 144, prior to the meeting. With that, we'll call the meeting to order. I guess I already did. And first on the agenda is to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for the March 23rd, 2021 meeting of the Ayer Planning Board.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Seconded. Thank you, Ms. Murray. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none. Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So next on our list is a covenant bond release. We have none this evening, so we're going to jump right into the street acceptance request for Trevor Trail. I thought I saw CJ's name a moment ago. Oh, there you are, CJ, right in front of me. It's kind of weird because, in a room, where people sit. In Zoom, they don't. CJ, you're on mute, please. Just so you can join the movie.
How about now?
You can. Yeah, you're fine. You can join the party. You can join the party with voice too.
Right.
Hey, Mark, you want to just do a quick overview of what the request is?
Yes, in fact, I'll do a quick screen share of the memo we got from Dan Van Schalkwyk, town engineer. CJ is requesting street acceptance of Trevor Trail. And he's been through the DPW and the Board of Selectmen signed off on this at their Tuesday, March 16th meeting. And so you see a little description of the steps involved in the street acceptance process by the town. And right now we are at step 4. Tuesday, March 23rd, Planning Board makes recommendations to the Board of Selectmen based on the recommendation from DPW. So we received that and I sent that out in the packet, and I have a draft motion below. So we might want to ask CJ about any technical issues regarding the acceptance.
If I may jump right in. CJ, it's my understanding you've been working closely with DPW on the punch list items?
Correct.
Okay, great. I know we happened to discuss this. I didn't even know this was coming to us, CJ. We talked about it a couple weeks ago when we saw you before about another project, I think.
Good.
Well, great. And so the process is we make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, and this will go on the warrant for the fall town meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah. Hopefully.
Is it the fall? I thought it.
No, spring. Sorry.
No, it's spring, April 26th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Step number 8.
We better not wait 45 days then. I'm going to open this to discussion from the board. Any board members? Mark, I'm going to ask you to unshare your screen, please. That way I can
Sure.
see people. Thank you. I think we've all seen it. Do we have any comments from board members?
I have one thing, Jeff,
Please, Mr. Diskin.
and I'm trying to retrieve it on my own
Okay.
computer right now, but I'm not getting it. The long and short of it is, CJ, I think the separate, if I recall, I saw the plan, and the plan starts out with the word street. And the documents that we're going to go to the Registry of Deeds refer to it as a road acceptance rather than a street acceptance. Might want to just double check with people that you get the language on both documents the same.
Okay.
the plan, I believe, refers, I don't have it open in front of me right now. I'm just doing it from memory when I looked at it the other day. Pretty sure the plan was called a street acceptance, and the documents for the registry, which referred to all the meets and bounds of all the different pieces, were calling it a road acceptance. So probably want to just match it up.
Sure. Thank you.
That's I know it sounds a little picayune, CJ, but Mr. Diskin's got a little bit of experience with having to deal with these problems in the future.
It's an
And,
easy one.
Yeah, it is. And so, you know, dates and the proper language helps out a great deal. Any other questions from any other members of the board? If you had seen, yes, Mr. Krantz,
Can we bring it up so we can see it? Is that possible?
the actual Trevor Trail itself?
Yeah, I mean, there are
Plan.
any images of this, of the plan or the layout or anything?
Yes, I'm happy to.
Damn it.
Excuse me. I went into the next topic. So I'm going to share my screen, and it may change size on you because the way the document was submitted as a PDF, the pages are of different sizes, okay? And this is just for Trevor Trail. Trevor Trail goes kind of southeast off of the Pleasant Street extension. And that's been top coated, correct, CJ?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Last fall.
Mhm. So I'm going to I'll scroll down, and
Yeah.
this is where it's going to change sizes.
You've opened up one of those right there where it says the,
Punch.
that's
Yeah.
where I think it says the road, it refers to it as the road acceptance plan.
Bear with me a second. I'll get it centered on the screen for you.
Yeah, it's on page 3. First paragraph.
No, I'm not on page 3. I'm on page 7. I'm going to give you all vertigo.
There it is. You just had it.
I don't, road acceptance plan. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and
Mr.
then,
Diskin?
yes, and then in the drawing itself, it's called out as a street acceptance plan, I believe, in the title block. In the lower right.
Yeah, I'm gonna, you know how it is on a computer, when you want to go down, you go up. Yeah, it says street acceptance plan. So, okay. It's probably easy to change the document, isn't it?
Mhm.
And to have GPR redraw the sheet.
No.
If you stick with the plan, Jeff, we're actually talking about a portion of Pleasant Street Extension as well as Trevor Trail, right? We, CJ?
Correct. Yeah. So it's the portion coming the Pleasant Street extension to a point just past Trevor Trail and then Trevor Trail.
Okay.
So if I may, CJ, can you see this? Is this kind of the line for it here?
Yeah,
Or is
you're
that-
right in the ballpark. There's
Yeah.
right where the current sidewalking, actually the curving's in on the second part, but right where the sidewalk ends on the left side,
Right about
west
here.
side past Trevor Trail.
Yeah, right about here.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, CJ. Yeah, actually, I was down there today, and I noticed that you've got the granite radiuses on the corners, and you've got the Cape Cod berm everywhere else. Looks like it's all in. It looks to me like the end of Pleasant Street Extension has not been top coated yet. It's
Right,
just not,
we're
it's
just
just not
waiting for
binder.
Majority of the construction to end before we do that.
Understood. Understandable. Other questions or requests from the members of the board? I'm going to hit stop to share. Where this is they're going, the DPW and CJ have spoken about this. We spoke to Dan about this earlier today, and Mark has also said this also, I think, in his memo. But they, in order for it to get to town meeting, they've got to get the punch list taken care of. Correct, CJ?
Yeah, so we've got the stuff left on it. I have some trees to plant. There's just some few minor things. I think, and I don't know if you have it, but I sent it to the DPW, the check, what has been completed on their checklist. So now that the snow is gone and things are semi dried up, we're actively working on it now, so it'll be completed.
Okay.
I know you
Yeah,
guys
and-
mentioned you don't want to chase punch list stuff, so that's my goal.
No, and if it's not done by town meeting, and I'm gonna sound like a terrible parent right now, the article won't get acted upon at town meeting.
Understandable.
That's where we stand.
Simple.
Other questions from the board members? Okay, I guess I need a motion to recommend this to the board, accept it and recommend it to the board. And Mark, you want to pull that motion back up so we can look at it, please?
I'll make the motion as soon as Mark brings it up.
Thank you. And there it is.
There's a verb, there's a infinitive missing here. The planning board moves to lay out to approve. Is that the right verb we're looking for?
Moves to accept.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that the planning board moves to accept the layout of the Trevor Trail per the recommendation of the Air DPW as forwarded to the planning board by the Air Select Board.
Seconded.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. Moved by Mr. Krantz, second by Ms. Murray. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Krantz,
Aye.
Ms. Murray,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you very much, CJ.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Yeah, I was down there today. All the families were out on the front steps having a blast.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Thanks, CJ.
Great, thank you, everyone.
Next on our agenda is a continued public hearing for the special permit for 2 Sandy Pond Road, McDonald's drive-through reconfiguration. And would the members of the McDonald's crew please identify themselves? The folks here for the McDonald's, please identify yourselves.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Jim Cranston here with Bowler. Good evening.
thank you. That it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because we got lots of people on the screen. I'm kind of curious what they're in for. So, okay, good. Do we have to open this continuation, Mark?
Well, it's a continuation. Yeah, I would recommend that the board make a motion to reopen the site plan meeting as well as the special permit hearing for the drive-through configuration.
Fantastic.
And then once you do that, I'll just give a 2-minute overview of what happened at the last meeting, and then ask Jim Cranston if he could walk through the plan real quick, since we have some new members of the public in the meeting this evening. But I think the main gist of what we want to resolve this evening, if possible, is the scope of the traffic study, since that is a key component in the planning board's decision-making process here.
Okay, well, let's get it open, and then you just use one of your minutes, Mark.
Yes.
May I have a motion, Mr. Prince?
Yes, I make a motion. We continue the public hearing for the special permit at 2 Sandy Pond Road.
And the
Seconded.
site plan review, do it same?
Do both at the same time?
Yeah, why not? We're gonna cross over in talking about stuff, I have a
And
feeling.
Oh,
continued,
yeah.
and a continued site plan review for 2 Sandy
Seconded.
Pond Road.
Again.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye, aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. For a minute there, we were almost at CPA, right?
Gotta keep it a little entertaining.
Okay, Mark, use one of your minutes now. Use your second one, please.
Okay. At the March 9th meeting, the planning board accepted the plans for consideration, both the site plan in general and the special permit for the reconfigured drive-through. And we had a site visit last Monday on the coldest day of March. We picked that intentionally. And remember that? What a difference a week makes. So yeah, basically it's a complete overhaul of the McDonald's site, as well as a proposed renovation of the building. And in the course of our discussion last week or 2 weeks ago, we decided that one of the issues that needs to be resolved is whether the planning board will require an independent traffic study to assess traffic volume, queuing at the drive-throughs, and traffic safety at the intersection, given its location next to the rotary. So I have a draft traffic study prepared, which I based on previous traffic studies that we have done. We did receive some feedback from Rebecca Brown at GPI, who is consulted by Bowler regarding that. So I think with a little bit of discussion, we'll be able to wrap that traffic study scope up. But I think the first thing should be for Dan to walk us through the site plan again.
Jim.
Jim.
And see if anybody in the public has any just basic questions.
Great, I appreciate that, Mark. So Jim, are you able to share a screen?
Yes.
Thank you. Good to see you this evening, Jim.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Let's see. So the screen should be up, correct? So really it's a remodel. We'll be making some improvements to the site with ADA improvements to bring the site into compliance. Building will be remodeled on the exterior and the interior, but the biggest change is the drive-through configuration. We're adding a side-by-side drive-through, which would change the location and the orientation of the drive-through itself. And the real goal is to optimize and make it a more efficient operation. And then in turn, it actually ends up addressing some of the queuing issues that were identified by the board and as identified by our study. So that's really just a high level overview of what the project is. We are proposing now to modify the westerly driveway here as shown in red. There were some concerns about people being able to make lefts out of the coming from the rotary into this driveway. So this is going to discourage that from happening. We did have the site visit. It was definitely beneficial to do. The operator was there, the franchisee of the restaurant. There were some additional asks of the board on the site walk that the operator and McDonald's have agreed to. Apparently the trash enclosure is in disrepair, so that will be repaired. There was asked for a bike rack to be added on the site, so we will be adding a bike rack. And then there was a request for any of this new curbing for this driveway to be vertical granite. So we will make that change as well.
Wow, good.
But really the biggest thing I think coming out tonight, as Mark mentioned, was to get buy-in on the draft traffic study scope. We did circulate this draft scope to GPI.
Actually, hey, Jim, excuse me for a second before we jump to that.
Sure.
The new configuration of the, I'm going to call it the, I'm not even, I can't find the entrance, the one you're on, the entranceway closest to the rotary, okay? That will still be 2 lanes. One lane will come out directly where the stop line will, that stop line will still be there, correct?
Correct.
And the other lane is to discourage people from taking a left-hand turn off of Sandy Pond into the parking lot at that area, but it's to direct them to the other entranceway.
Correct.
And the last thing I was going to say is people exiting the property can go either left or right from that reconfigured entryway. That's the expectation.
That is the intent, yes.
Great, thank you. I just want to just be clear and talk about it once
Sure.
and move on. Okay, great, thanks.
Yep. So there was a draft scope for the traffic study. Again, I want to make sure that the town's getting what they're looking for. There were some questions and comments back from GPI, and I don't know if, Mark, that was circulated to the board, but really would just like some clarification and some direction to answer their questions. I think you're muted, Mark.
I can't unmute you, Mark. You have to do it yourself.
Yep. Okay, sorry. I was I was going to say that I do have the proposed scope of the traffic study up for sharing if possible. Does Jim
Yeah, you're
need
gonna
to
have
take this
to-
down first, or?
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you,
okay.
Jim.
Yep.
I love Zoom. We all have to actually cooperate. It's great.
Didn't work.
I'm gonna end up putting a 54-inch monitor on my desk. This is horrible. Okay, go ahead. There it is.
Yep.
And I will ask people, if you'd like to say something, please speak up, because at this point I can only see 3 people in the meeting.
Okay,
So if you
good.
raise your hand, I can't tell.
Yep. So
Mark?
basically, I'll just go through this briefly.
Yeah, Mark, excuse me, can I
Yes.
ask you to increase the size of that? Go up to view on the menu. Yeah,
Oh,
click on view
yep.
and see where it says 100%. Click on that, please. Right below the word view,
Oh,
it says
right.
zoom. Yeah,
Yep.
click there.
Mhm.
Okay, click on zoom next to it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
and,
go
and
up to,
just do page width. That should,
whoa,
there we
okay.
go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 will be
Yes,
navigating in pieces.
200%. Yep.
Thank you very much. That's good. Okay, thanks.
Yep. So basically, the first is very basic stuff, reconnaissance and data gathering.
Mhm.
I'm not going to really go into that. Uh, establish baseline traffic conditions. One way in which this project differs from others is, when we did, for instance, the All Town, we had existing conditions as well as proposed conditions, both, pre-construction and after construction. The McDonald's is already here, so there's really no before, except for perhaps maybe increased traffic due to the novelty of the two drive-throughs. Something I thought about. So first I had conduct a program of traffic counts at the McDonald's entrance and exit to establish baseline volumes and turning movements with a focus on peak hours. And Jeff, you suggested the text or actually the concept in italics, which is
Yeah,
that we
and-
define rush hour to include not only what are the peak hours for McDonald's per se, say at lunch, but also rush hour in general.
Well, what I'm trying to accomplish is typically when we talk about rush hour, we talk about people going to and coming from work on a typical 9 to 5 workday.
Yep.
Our community works different hours, and I think we're going to see that we have people moving earlier and later because of the length of their commute. Also, it probably stacks up with so we've got the peak load for the road and we've got the peak load for the property, which we can assume is going to be during traditional meal times,
Right.
2 or 3 times a day. So that's the point I wanted to get across, and
Yep.
we're open to discussion on that, of course. Okay.
And I'm going to come back to the shaded parts here about in-person versus automatic traffic recorders, as well as the accident data, since the person from GPI had a few comments regarding that. We also want to look at the issue of pedestrian and handicap accessibility, the location of the parking locations, crosswalks, ramps, and all those sort of other features. Potential mitigation measures, identify concepts for any on-site and off-site actions that could improve traffic flow and reduce traffic conflicts. Identify potential minor improvements that might further enhance public safety, such as signs, pavement markings, site distance, maintenance measures, or similar actions. Address the handicapped and pedestrian safety. And then I just talk about the number of meetings and deliverables. But I will go down to the comments that we received from their consultant here, which I think the board should discuss. Item 2A, which is referring to, I'll just go back real quick. 2A is whether in-person counts or automated traffic recorders. And their comment was, it is unclear whether the intent is to count only the movements in and out of the driveways or whether movements along Sandy Pond Road are also to be included. It is also unclear what the intent of collecting these volumes is. The volume of traffic generated by the McDonald's will not change as a result of reconfiguring the drive-through. Is the town looking for us to evaluate delays, queues, and level of service at the site driveways, or simply collect the volumes entering and exiting to say what they are? And I highlighted what I did because I think, in my opinion, we're looking to evaluate delays, queues, and level of service. We're not just looking for 5 cars went in, 5 cars went out.
Right. Chair,
Yes, please.
I understand delays and queues. What do we mean by level of service in this context?
I think that
LOS.
corresponds to like in traffic engineering lingo, a level of service A is free-flowing conditions with no impediments. Like you're driving down the highway at 2 a.m. and there are no other cars. Level of service F is gridlock. So I
Okay.
think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think what we're discussing here is the impact of the queuing going off and on the property to the traffic as it goes by.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of doing this study, is to evaluate delays, queues, and level of service. I thought that was the entire point.
Right.
And what makes this a little bit confusing is they also have, in speaking with the owner of this McDonald's, they also have specific levels of service they have to meet in order to be a McDonald's branch. We don't want to cut one off for the other one. We got to find a spot if we can. Okay, thanks, Mark. And the next is?
The next is, this
Can I
has to
just
do with,
confirm?
Oh, yes,
One-
please. I'm
oh
sorry.
yeah, we should
Sorry.
discuss.
I
this.
can't see people because my screen's set up, so please
Yep.
speak up.
So while we're on the topic of 2A, I just want to confirm, I don't think we need to count how many cars are going down Sandy Pond, correct? That was one of the questions in there.
I guess what
'Cause
I'd
all
be
that's going to
interested,
tell you is what percentage of people on the road are going to the McDonald's, which isn't going to change the data, I don't think.
I won't argue that point with you. I understand. What I'm concerned about is cars that sit in the driveway impeding the traffic at
Correct.
Sandy
We will
Pond.
look at that.
Okay, and right now we get a Sandy Pond, that road needs to be reconfigured. It's undersized for what it's attempting to do these days. And if you drive up there, if you're going away from the rotary on the right-hand side of the road, as cars queue to go into the left, you get tractor trailers now dropping their right wheels off the road to drive up that road. And so that's really what it comes down to, is what's happening there. And I think a car sitting in the entranceway causes that. Jim, is that clear?
Right, so we don't need to count number of cars on Sandy Pond, is what I'm confirming.
Is that, any other board members have anything to say on that?
I think the important thing, he's right, we may not have to, I might agree with Jim, we might not have to count all the cars that go down Sandy Pond. I think we need to count the cars that are in the queue at McDonald's and
Yep.
evaluate the delays that are caused by to the Sandy Pond Road by people that are going into McDonald's that have stopped the traffic on Sandy Pond Road.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Jim, let me ask the question. Can we, if we, I don't know what the level of services are off the top of my head. A, B, C, D, E, where they fit, but I'm curious if there's a way to, ascertain that. If we had a situation where we had, and this does happen, where cars are currently backed up from the order board straight across the parking lot and backing out into the road.
Yep.
Okay,
I
so
get
we
it.
want, that's what we're trying to capture, because
Okay.
we want you to be able to improve the, we want you to meet your goals. We want to see if we can improve Sandy Pond.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next comment, 4A, has to go back. I'll just go back to 4A here.
Mhm.
Identify concepts for any on-site and off-site actions that could improve traffic flow and reduce traffic conflicts, as well as other mitigation measures that might be justified because of the new traffic pattern at the renovated McDonald's. So their comment was, this item is a bit open-ended. Town is looking for us to evaluate both on-site and off-site mitigation measures to improve traffic flow and reduce traffic conflicts. However, they do not provide any guidance for how they want this done. It is unclear whether the scope item is intended to suggest that delay, queuing, and level of service analysis will be completed to identify the existing operations, the need for improvements, and evaluate the impacts of mitigation alternatives. The town should clarify whether they are anticipating any operations or level of service analysis to be performed.
Thank you. Anybody have any comments about this? Because now that I read this, Ken, you anything?
I want to go back to the original statement in 4A. Maybe we just
Sure.
clean that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please. I have a feeling this was picked up from a project before, correct?
Yes, I
Yeah.
used both the traffic study we did for Alltown and also a few subdivisions to craft
Yeah.
this one.
And if you think about all town and the subdivisions, they did not exist. That was
Correct.
all brand new traffic on the street.
Yes,
So that go ahead, Ken.
And I'm just reading and it says, identify concepts. Maybe we just have to say identify on-site and off-site improvements to traffic flow and that can be completed to reduce traffic conflicts. just change the wording a little bit so it's straightened out as to what, forget about any and take out the word concepts and put it right into improvements. So the other thing I'm concerned with is that, Bola shows us the existing entrance, let's say to the, that's to the east, and we've shown some changes to the west, but is that the end of the line? Can we make even more improvements to those entrances and exits to, get better radiuses, make turning in and out of the site improved along the way? So that's what I'm trying to get at. So I just think we have to tighten up the language so we tell them what we're looking for. I agree with it. It's not clear.
Yeah, before we leave this topic tonight, I'd like to probably type in some new language here, but
Well, I think that you and Jim, if we give you the intent, Mark, couldn't you and Jim Cranston
oh, yeah,
finish the scope and
yes,
then get it
right.
approved by Jeff?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at this and I'm going to shorten the sentence. And Jim, if I could ask you to pay attention to what I'm saying. Again, identify any on-site and off-site actions that improve traffic flow and reduce traffic conflicts. I think that's what you're saying, Ken.
Yeah.
So identify on-site and off-site actions that could improve traffic flow and reduce traffic conflicts. I mean, one of the questions I have here is we don't have the information. I don't know that this is a high incidence spot. The accident data here I've never heard of. I mean, how many years of driving by there on a daily basis? I don't think I've ever seen an accident.
And that's part of the study. We were asked to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do it just because, but I have a feeling, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim, does that sound?
Yeah, you want them to look for any opportunities to make improvements to the site
Yeah.
based on the way it exists.
And it may be, as Mr. Diskin says, it may be changing the radius of a curve.
Yep.
And the next one, I'd take out the B, I'd remove the word minor. I just say identify potential improvements.
Okay, yep,
I call it minor.
Mhm.
yep.
Okay.
And of
Good,
course,
so-
we're
Yeah.
we're not going to ask you to pick up the building and turn it 108, 90 degrees to solve this problem, Jim.
Yep. No, I get it. Yep. I get it. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Good. Is
But
there
there
more,
are-
Mark?
I think that's it. If people are
Okay.
satisfied with the traffic study, I'll clean it up based on our discussion just now.
Mhm.
I have like 10 potential traffic study firms that this could go to. And,
Is
I'll
the
get it
guy,
out
are
right
the
away.
people, are the people who did All Town on the list?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, as well as a few smaller outfits too, so.
Okay.
Um,
We don't want to make this punitive, but if we're reinventing the wheel, that might be punitive, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yes.
If
Yes,
we've got
so
an
we-
engineer we've worked with before.
We
Um,
want this to be very focused. It is, it's not a study of a entirely new use.
Yep.
So,
So
I think the cost for this would be reasonable and modest.
thank you. I am going to be around all day tomorrow, but I won't be at my desk, Mark. So when you got this
Mhm.
when you got this pulled together, give me a call on the phone.
Sure,
I'll hustle in I'll be doing stuff around the house all day tomorrow. So,
Yep.
and in this area of the town. So, okay. And then Jim, we'll get it to you as quickly as we can.
Jeff,
That sounds good. So Mark, there was one thing at the bottom that GPI had wanted just to
Oh,
confirm
sure.
was the hours and days that they envisioned looking at the driveways and the movement. If you scroll down more.
right
There
there,
it is.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
There it
Mhm.
is, yep.
So those were the windows and days that they were proposing. Obviously, it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. I just want to, again, I want to make sure that they're doing what you envisioned, and we're doing this once. I think what they've come up with is reasonable because those are the same days and hours that we did the drive-through queue study as well.
Jim? I have a question through the chair to Jim.
Yes, Mr. Krantz.
Proposed peak hours, do you know if those are consistent with what McDonald's actually experiences for peak loads? I mean, wouldn't the institution itself, I mean, that McDonald's, our McDonald's, wouldn't they know what their busiest hours are? Couldn't that be helpful to us in determining the hours studied for this?
Is that a question for me?
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the peak hours that we
Okay.
confirmed with the operator before we did the drive.
Okay, that's what I wanted to confirm, that these
I
are.
just want to make sure the board is in agreement, that's all.
There was the question that needed to get asked, so I think you've answered it.
Okay,
Correct,
Perfect.
Jonathan?
right. I just wanted to make sure it was consistent with what McDonald's experiences as their peaks, not what we think their peaks are.
Yep,
Thank you.
Good.
great.
Any further discussion? Any questions from the public on this? Mark, if you could close your screen for stop.
Yep.
Thank you. I don't see anybody raising a hand or anybody. So, okay, I think we've put
We
that
do
to bed
have
for
a hand
this.
raised, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, who was it?
Looks like Dennis. Karen.
Oh, Dennis. Thank you. Would you like to say something?
You're
I-
muted,
we-
Dennis.
Try again. No, we can see your face. We can see your mouth moving, but we can't hear you,
The
sir.
computer mic, so it's unmuted on Zoom, but Dennis, check your computer mic. It might be off.
Yeah, or volume.
No, we're still unable to hear you.
Just have him yell across the street, Jonathan. You can-
I'm gonna have to open up the window, Dennis.
Still can't
I
hear
tell
him.
you what, why don't we do this? We're not gonna, we still have another issue with McDonald's to talk about the site plan review. Dennis, we can't hear you. I think you're having a technical issue at your end. If you want to take a moment and try and solve that, by all means, put your hand up again. Appreciate, I can see your thumbs up. Thank you very much. Okay, we do want your input. We just can't get it. So, site plan review. Mark, you want to talk
Yeah,
about this?
basically, we decided to put most of that on hold until we got the results of the traffic study, since that may have an impact on the entrances and, you know, the configuration of the aisles and everything else. So I believe the planning board, except for the items that we noted at the site visit, was pretty much okay with most of the site plan. Now, I don't want to put words in everybody's mouth, but at the last meeting, we agreed that the traffic study was pivotal to making these other decisions about the site.
I think that is a very fair characterization of what happened. I found, Jim, I apologize. The gentleman who met us from Bowler there, I've forgotten his name.
That'd be me, Jim.
Was that you?
That was me.
Who else was there?
Under mask and hat, that was me.
Somebody confused me. Okay, Jim, but no, we did a good job. I thought it was a really good. Yeah, and put the mask on, please. I thought it was the McBurglar, whatever his name, the Hamburglar. Excuse me. No, I thought that walkthrough went fairly well, believe it or not. Mr. Yee was very open to hearing stuff. It was a great opportunity to share with Mr. Yee what Ayer's looking at in the next year or two. The growth here in Ayer is kind of exponential right now. We got a lot going on. And so I appreciate that he is open to doing some things we asked for, really. And I know there was also a question, doing this off the top of my head, about an oil and gas separator that I think is going to be put in, that's going to be part of the process also.
Yeah, that was a formal comment from the
That's a formal
DPW.
comment from the DPW. And I think there are some other comments from the DPW that they're going to want to find out what happens after we do a traffic study. And they'll have comments also on it.
Right.
Drainage
Yeah,
and stuff.
Mr. Chair, we do have DPW Superintendent Wetzel in here. I don't know if he wants to chime in a little bit since he's already here, but I know we did receive a full letter from DPW with their initial concerns.
Yep, and there's also, I think, been a response also from Bowler. I read through that one today. So in the normal course of time, those will get resolved.
This is Mark. Dan's been primarily reviewing that, so I can have him respond to any specific questions, but I'm not familiar with everything that he had raised.
Yeah, no, and actually, Mark, Dan has always done a great job, and it's moving forward. So we'll get the traffic study under our belts, and we'll move forward and get it all worked out. Dennis, I don't know your last name, sir. Are you back, do you think?
It's Karen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, figured it out. First time in 6 months. Yeah, I apologize for the inconvenience there. I was just wondering.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just need to know your address and full name, sir.
Okay, it's Dennis Curran, Curran,
Mhm.
and it's 51 Pleasant Street.
Thank you.
So I was wondering if the McDonald's reconfiguration takes into account improved pedestrian or bicycle access from East Main Street and or the Rotary just prior to getting to, where the entrance to the driveway is now. Is that taken into account, or is that not relevant to the study?
It is relevant to the conversation, and I'm going to let Mr. Cranston respond, and then I'll tell you also what happened if he doesn't, because at the site study, we weren't all in the same spot at the same time to discuss it. Okay, so let's let Mr. Cranston respond to that.
Thank you. So yes, we will be improving connectivity for pedestrians. There is a sidewalk in Sandy Pond Road. So what we've done is we've created a sidewalk, a crosswalk here with a sidewalk connection right to the front door. I know that the Rotary was a topic of discussion at the site walk. Unfortunately, due to the site constraints, we're not comfortable with having a crossing added in this configuration, which is closer to the Rotary, just because of the drive-through exit and vehicles exiting the site. It's just not a safe condition. So we are making some improvements, and this is how we would accommodate pedestrians by foot. Bicycles can drive and ride really wherever they want. So.
Right, but what I mean, just having seen people, they tend to walk down East Main Street towards McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to have an entrance to the McDonald's before those people and bicycles have to enter the Rotary.
Yeah,
would be helpful.
Yeah, and we did discuss that, and I'm going to ask you, Jim, to it's the corner of the property up the back entrance way after the pavement. There you go. So you know what? I'm going to try something. I may be able to draw on here. We discussed some sort of crossing the property in here, Dennis, from the protected sidewalk off the Rotary.
Yep.
The configuration of the property is not optimal. Cars coming in this driveway are expected to travel around the building to get into the drive-through queue. Cars stacked in the queue who have paid and picked up their food are expected to leave the building this way. And cars that will need to sit and wait for, run out to my car type situation are expected to use this area here. So the pedestrian cycle traffic there would be probably the worst place on the property to put it, if you get my drift.
Mm-hmm.
So
There
that
was
was
another comment that was made by Jim in the field. I brought this
Yeah.
question up as well, Dennis. We did talk about it. I just put that arrow on there. So it seemed to me when people were coming down East Main Street, it would be easy to just cut across like that yellow line that Mr. Cranston drew. But he pointed out to me a couple of things that were important. And the traffic, number one, and the grade. So it could not accommodate ADA requirements for handicap access. I was thinking of somebody actually coming down there on a wheelchair or some sort of restriction. But the lot itself is sloped wrong to accommodate that. So it just didn't work. So I guess the answer, Jim Cranston, would be that we just make sure that the sidewalk's in good shape and that they can get curb cuts where the entrance and exit is that we see to the west there, and then get them to the front of the building. I guess that's the only conclusion. Just
Okay,
guessing.
all right.
Yeah,
No, I
and-
understand. Yep.
And Dennis, your requests are not falling on deaf ears. It's just, it's a really difficult site. Miss Marie, do you have something to say?
Say it a little more plainly, or at least how I saw it when Jim showed it to
Yeah.
us, is I just didn't want my kids walking into the blind spot of traffic. Like, I just felt like there was no way to get, I mean, we watched everyone come through that drive-through, eating their food, putting their money away, talking on their phone and figuring out how to get in the rotary.
Yeah.
And it truly was such a visible blind spot for the driver and very hazardous for someone walking. As badly as we wanted it, and as much as we know everyone's going to probably cut across and jaywalk anyway, to frown upon it seemed the safest option rather than there were no solutions. So I know we just kind of said that, but it felt a little fancy, and I just wanted to say it how I heard it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all right.
Hey, let me ask this, Jim, can I ask you a question, Cranston?
Yes.
So is it possible maybe to move, see, we have indicated the curb cut, and the new entrance, and you highlighted it. What if we moved it closer to the entrance? So at least we picked up, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 car spaces. Does that matter? Instead of having people go to the middle of the building,
I
just
think
angle it.
I think the new curb cut is gonna make that tricky to get it to work.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
there's not a lot of room
transition,
there.
yeah, the transition wise and whatnot. Yeah,
And then we'd have to look at the grades in that area as well.
okay, well, I
And-
guess we're all on the same page. We know it's important.
And I'm gonna throw one more thing. There's a tree right here, guys. It's the only tree left on the property that's of any substantial size.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to not lose that too. Any other, thank you, Mr. Curran. Thank you very much. Other questions?
This is Public Works.
Go ahead, Mark.
You
Yeah.
know, one of the big challenges out there for pedestrians and bicycles is that you've got a pretty big rotary. It's hard, you can't cut across it. You have to walk around it. I know when, and Jeff, you probably have the same experience when you're cycling. It's a little tricky coming into a rotary and cycling around the rotary and knowing where you should be, which lane to go right or to go around. And so it's quite a challenging traffic configuration for pedestrians and cyclists. So, and in addition to that, it's under the jurisdiction of Mass DOT. So, so if there's any specific recommendations we want to do to the sidewalks or bike lanes or anything on the rotary, then I can bring those to Mass DOT, and sometimes they do what we ask.
Thank you, Mark. And that's Mark Wetzel, our superintendent of DPW here in town, for those who may not recognize his voice or name. Okay. Other questions from the board about the site plan? Or are we still kind of in a holding pattern waiting for the traffic numbers to come in?
In a revised plan, I
And-
presume. Yeah.
Exactly, in a revised plan. So, okay. Anybody else in the public who would like to make a comment on the proposed site improvements at McDonald's? I don't see, so I have a screen full of names and I can't believe they're all here for business tonight. Thank you. Why don't we continue this, please? Mr. Krantz?
Yes, I make a motion to continue the public hearing for the site plan review and the special permit for 2 Sandy Pond Road till our next air planning board meeting on April 13th, 2021.
Jonathan, can you just do me a favor and make those 2 separate
Okay.
motions, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for the special permit 2 Sandy Pond Road till our next meeting, April, Jim?
So before you make the motion, I just want to point out, it's going to take 5 to 6 weeks to get this study finalized and in our hands. So while I would appreciate coming before you on April 13th, I don't think we'll have what we need to do that.
Mhm.
So if I could just be back in touch with Mark, maybe with what date we want to target or how you want to handle that.
So I'm going to make a recommendation. Let's target it to the second meeting in April at this point. We'll be in touch with you, Mr. Cranston, by email.
Perfect.
I do not want you, I mean, I know you're not traveling, but we all got enough Zoom in our lives.
Yep.
We're going to have to reschedule our first meeting in May due to a town election. So we're going to have to tell you what that date is anyway. We don't know it yet.
Okay.
So
Sounds
why
good.
don't we pick, I think it's April 27th, Mr. Krantz?
I'm looking right now. I think that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we pick April 27th? That's It's a Hail Mary hopeful that will be ready at that point, Mr. Cranston.
great.
Okay?
So I make a motion that we continue the public hearing for the special permit 2 Sandy Pond Road through to our meeting on April 27th, 2021.
Seconded.
Made by Mr. Krantz, second by Ms. Murray. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The second motion, Jonathan, for the
Oh, yes,
site plan.
I make a motion that we continue the site plan review for 2 Sandy Pond Road through to our April 27th, 2021 Air Planning Board meeting.
Thank you.
Seconded.
It's moved and seconded by Ms. Murray. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much for those two. Next on our list is a continued public hearing for the density bonuses for 0 Washington Street, which we are also calling Panther Place. Jim, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Be in touch. We'll get that to you as soon as we can, the corrections. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good evening, Mr. Beals.
Good evening. It's great to be back.
I feel like I just saw you at some point recently. Hi, Mr. Levine. Hello, Mr. Para.
Oh,
And good evening, all. So I need a motion to continue the public hearing, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. You guys are getting great. Moved and seconded. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
Mr. Krantz.
Aye.
And I have no idea where Ms. Murray went. There she is. She's muted. Julie? Chair votes aye.
Okay.
Technical problems.
Aye. I'm sorry.
No
Children.
worries. Thank you. That's okay. Hi to the kids. Fantastic. Mark, you want to do a quick catch up for us?
Yes, I'll share part of my staff report here as soon as I find it. There it is. Okay. Okay. Can you read that, or do I need to make it a little bit bigger?
That's
Go
good.
for it.
All right. Okay, at the last meeting on March 7th, the planning board granted density bonuses for 2 of the 3 categories of bonuses that were requested. For the public, a density bonus is a way for a subdivision applicant to obtain extra lots or extra units if they provide benefits to the town that are called out in the bylaw in terms of additional open space, deeded public access, affordable housing, or solar access and solar ready construction. The applicant in this case has proposed 3 of those. The first was a density bonus for deeded public access to the open space, and the planning board granted those at the last meeting. Second one was for an additional, I think 5, or was it 10% open space above the minimum 50? And the planning board granted those at the last meeting as well. The outstanding item for this evening is the issue of solar access and solar ready construction. And we had a little bit of a discussion at the last meeting on this. Mr. Beal shared with us some diagrams about how the lots are oriented to maximize solar access. And I believe he also has a diagram that he would like to share with us this evening about the solar ready construction for each individual home. If the planning board is inclined to grant these this evening, I have prepared on page 3 here at the bottom in the blue ink, 2 conditions of approval, just to ensure that the planning board obtains the documentation necessary to ensure that the solar access will indeed be provided. So we can come back to this after the discussion that we have with the applicant. So that's where we are right now. So again, for people who are new, The subdivision process usually entails a preliminary plan to determine the base number of lots that could be developed. Also to look into other issues such as the location of valuable open space, the wetlands, etc. Discuss the basic layout of the subdivision. Step 2 would be any density bonuses or any other permits that might be required as a prerequisite to the definitive plan, which is the last step, which is the subdivision step that has binding conditions on it. And it's the definitive plan that actually makes building permits possible. So at this point, they have to go through that process, and we're working to determine the actual number of lots in the subdivision through the density bonus process that we're taking up this evening. So hopefully I described that fairly accurately. And,
Mark, you speak great planner ease. How's that? Huh?
It's funny, with the COVID, I can write well, but when it comes to talking, I feel like I'm just like gibbering, but hey.
I should say, Mark, we haven't noticed any difference, but that's a compliment, not a cut.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
I'd say that. Hey, anyway, so I'm going to minimize.
I know, I'm kidding.
So, okay, great. A little more information. I'm hoping the other board members had a chance to take a look. Mr. Levine provided to us plans of not the actual buildings he's putting on the property, but plans that represent how buildings were provided, how he has provided solar ready in the past in construction that he's done. I hope you've all had a chance to take a look at those. If not, we can take a quick.
So I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'll come back to this so that if the applicant has any diagrams to share, he can do so now.
Sure, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Mr. Beals.
We submitted a set of plans. At the last meeting, I think there was one issue left on the table, and the board wanted more specificity on what is solar ready. You know, show us an example, and how do you make these things feasible? Fortunately for us, Joe has built solar ready homes, and what he did is he went to his architect and said, would you please take the plan set that we've done in the past for a solar ready house, gray out the various notes that are not applicable to solar ready, and then highlight in red and yellow the components that represent solar ready plans. So we sent that set of plans. I have it as a PowerPoint. So if it's helpful to the board, I could put that up. I could share my screen, put that up, and then I think it'd be better to have Joe walk you through it because he's built this house and he can answer the specific questions. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'd appreciate you doing that. We want to make sure we do things in an open meeting, even though we're all sitting in our own private homes.
Okay. So I'm hoping you can see my screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
That's a really, really beautiful golden retriever you have.
Behind me?
Never mind, Larry.
Oh. Yeah, that dog is the love of my life, next to my wife.
I didn't even know if you have a dog, to be honest with you.
There's a picture of her behind me, but
I would have to put my magnifying glasses on for that.
So my role tonight is one of essentially Vanna White. I'll flip through the drawings on behalf of Joe. So this is the first plan, and Joe, I'll turn it over to you and you can walk us through these, and just let me know when you want to change drawings.
Thank you, Larry. So these are legit construction plans. This is a house that exists. So I'm just going to walk you through it now. Before anybody says anything, there's a lot of details and notes on here that nobody can read. So as we go through them, we have some other screenshots of them, you know, zoomed in on, and so I can explain it. So again, this is, you know, I kind of put the sheets in order of this so everybody can kind of follow it through the presentation, but these are real sheets from real construction plans. So
Thank
again, this is a house. I think this was like 3,200 square feet. Colonial garage under. So again, here's just your basic, four-sided elevations with some call outs here. If you look at this, the back side of the roof is kind of a darker shade. That's all the southern exposure, and that's where the roof rafters were beefed up and strengthened. Larry, if you want to click, I'm sorry.
That's the lower left. That's the lower left
That's the lower
drawing.
left. That's the
Thank
lower
you.
left.
Mhm.
That's where it says rear elevation in the bottom corner.
Yeah, it's a little small on my screen. I just want to.
We'll get you there. I got some zoom ins because. So Larry, if you want to click to the next one. So again, here, we're going to move around. So this was a note from the other one. So it's called out here on the plan from a side elevation that it will be filled in and colored, that this is where that roof has the southern exposure, and that's where that roof is beefed up as necessary.
Thank you.
So Larry, if you want to go to the next one. Again, here's that other note, that bottom corner. It's supposed to be yellow, but it all kind of comes through. But again, that's all called out, identified. That's where the roof is beefed up. And then Larry, if you want.
When you say beefed up, basically what you're saying is you're adding structure to the roof to hold
And we'll get
the
there. And I'll show
handle
you.
solar panels and the wind load.
Yeah, the dead load. We'll get there. I'll show you how the difference of the spans. So again, here too. Here's the roof framing, the rafters. This is a real plan set. This is what it would look like, again, with nothing that no one cares about on the left grayed out. So again, Larry, if you want to zoom in, there's some notes that are called out kind of for the construction plans, but also for demonstration purposes. So here, if you look in the middle here, it says right there, 2x10s, rafters are 12 inches on center. And, the note that the architect put in said these rafters are over the allowable span for 2x10s and 16s on center with a live load of 50 pounds per square foot. Now, 50 pounds per square foot is the calculation they do on the dead load based on they have maps, goes town by snow loads, and it gets into some math that whatever, it's what they get paid to do. So then the dead load. So you can see there that on the other side, Larry, if you just kind of move that red dot down to the bottom of the screen, Larry. So you see right there, that's 16 inches on center. So that's the northern side of the house. That doesn't need to be beefed up because the panels are not going back there.
And so that's the peak of the roof is the horizontal line in the middle.
Exactly. So you can see where if you weren't going to, account for any kind of solar load, the dead load, you would just be fine and you do 16 inches on center. Mm-hmm. But to handle it, because of the length of the rafters, the math comes out that you just beef them, you change them to 12 inches on center. Now it takes the load. But which is also interesting too, it's not always clear cut 12 to 16. Larry, if you kind of go to your red dot to the right side of the screen. So this is the smaller part of the roof here. And if you see on both sides, the southern and northern side are still both 16 inches on center. And that's because the length of the rafter. So those are shorter rafter lengths, and the calculations come out that you're fine. But still, somebody did the evaluation and somebody certified that it's good. You don't need to beef them up. So whoever, the homeowner at the end of the day, still has the piece of paper they need to know that it works. So it's not always, go from 16 to 12. It's a function of how long your rafters, how big is your span, the design of the house.
Thank you.
Okay. So Larry, if you want to go to the next one. And again, too, this is a little note that will be on the plan, because what happens is we give the plot plan to the architect, and then they put it in the computer, and then they get the orientation of the south and the north, and they have this, from 270 degrees, how it works out, and that's where you pick it up, southern side, So everything's figured out. They get the plot plan. It's part of the process. They get the house. They get the layout. Make sure we have it all, taken care of for the most southern exposure possible.
Thank you.
So Larry, if you want to go to the next one, Larry. Again, I'm just working the way through the plan of the house. So we went from the roof. This is now the second floor framing, the ceiling framing. Again, nobody can read this. So Larry, if you want to go to the next one. This is just with the rafters pulled off. It's a little clear to see now. But what you can see is here on the left there, those two gray boxes, which we'll zoom in a second. The bigger one, that was just the HVAC duct chase. The smaller box would be a general dedicated, figured out in the field, the conduit channel running down to the basement, already set up, hidden in the walls, ready to go. And then over on the right, again, it just kind of shows a shaded out area of that southern exposure of the ceiling, the roof, all the way through. So Larry, if you want to click on the next slide, again, this is a zoom in of the duct chase. So again, where it has the F, that's the HVAC. But here is, again, approximate location of conduit for future roof mounted solar installation, exact location be in the field. So, in the field, we might have to, push it left or push it right. But this is just to give the board for demonstration how it works. It just runs right through the house, out of sight, out of mind. And then it's just there for the homeowner. And it's all
I appreciate it. I actually had one comment on the set of plans when I looked through, and thank you for sending them over. I'd put the closet back to back with the closet on the master bedroom. I think that's what above it. So the chases are hidden, but that's me.
Again, some of this too is demonstration. I would probably.
That's just the way I am, That way, if you have to get in there, you don't have to destroy the room, You can.
But the whole point is, you're never gonna have to get in there. But
Just
yes,
a pipe chase with conduit.
exactly.
You got to get that dead animal out.
Well, not my roofs. So anyway, so Larry, if you want to go to the next one.
Thank you.
Again, this is just following through, all the way through. So this is just the first floor framing. Again, none of that changes. But again, on the left, it's still called out on the plan. So when everybody's building it, everybody knows that's where it is. And again, Larry, if you want to click to the next slide, again, this is the framing removed, so you can see where it drops. Again, Larry, if you want to click on the next one, again, it's zoomed in, same note. Everybody knows where it is. Again, probably if I built this, I would hide a closet in there or something so it wouldn't jut out to the room. But this is for demonstration purposes as well.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and then again, even more. So Larry, if you want to click in to the next one, so this is the basement. Again, just to show where it ends up. Again, to get to the notes that nobody can read on their screen right now. Larry, if you want to click onto the next one. So again, the same note about the location, but then also the approximate location electric panels here. Because when you're running this stuff, most electricians rather, they start looking at you sideways when you run too many 90 degrees on them. They hate that stuff. So you try to line it up as close as you can to the electrical panel. So it's just a drop down, connect over. And again, too, there's enough wall space here that if the solar company needs something for whatever they got to do, there's a wall mount ready to go, big enough panel. Everybody can, mount what they need to mount. So
the expectations in anything, inverters, things like that need to go in there. Are you do you know, I was thinking about this because while I was working on this over the weekend, my whole house generator exercises on Sundays.
Yeah.
And of course, first thing I thought of was, well, when we bought this house, the first thing I did was expand the backboard size. So because I knew I needed the transfer switch to be mounted and stuff like that. So there's going to be room. I'm going to assume it's brand new construction. There's going to be room in case they want to enhance it with that also.
That's what we always do too. We almost practically throw up a whole sheet of plywood. And it's, you have for the cable company, the electric panel, It's one of these things, nobody ever complains if they have too much space down there.
Let them cut it down later.
Exactly. But we built for it. So again, another one, just to move on. So just so you can see the whole thing again, Larry, if you want to click to the next slide. So this is just a cross section of the whole house. Again, calling out the southern side, and you can see how it just follows this way all the way through the house. These will be on the construction plans. Everybody knows where it is, all the way down to the basement. So this is just how it works. It runs through the house, through the attic. Larry, if you want to click on the next one, again, calling out the southern side again for the homeowner. So when they have these plans, everybody knows where it is, even though south is usually south. And then Larry, if you want to click again, you can see how it just kind of runs through the house. This is how it's set up. Everybody knows about it. Right to the panel.
You keep saying like at one point somebody actually put it in the wrong room on you, Joe.
Well, you got to be on the job site and you got to make sure. So, you know what I mean? You got to be there. But if it's in the plans and it's in the plans, then people should follow the plans.
Yep. Do we have any questions from board members on this part of it? I don't see. Yes, Mr. King.
Yeah, so Joe, you mentioned, well, I'll just refer back again to the bylaw. It says to lots in the OSRD, this is 10.154, shall be oriented to maximize solar resource available to each lot, as many lots as possible. And I guess I'm going to take the spirit of that to maximize the solar resource. It's a couple Do you also require that there be no vent pipes put up on that solar roof so that we don't lose a whole
Well,
panel?
actually, it's good you brought that up because actually, Larry, if you want to click back to like that first slide or so, the code, which is debatable, it says you have to have a minimum of 300 square feet. Now, when we did this roof, which is what we do like a lot of things, we just said forget it, and this is 750 square feet. So you can spend ad nauseum time trying to find a clear 300 square feet, or you could just do what I do and just blow the whole roof out, give them 750 square feet, and say, I'm pretty sure you can find a spot for this to work.
Yeah,
And that's
right.
just because you're not going to just take one corner of the roof and, well, we're going to beef up these rafters, but not these rafters that are 2 feet away from them. You just do the whole southern side and call it a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how you do it, just for the reality of the guy buying the house. Like, you don't want to tell somebody, oh, only in that one corner. You just say southern side, go. Like, you're done. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That should be enough for 7 or 8 kilowatts. And also then, do you put any attention to the pitch of the roof?
I mean, there's not when it comes to this kind of stuff. Again, I don't. It just because it's New England. You still got to have your right pitches for the snow loads and the designs of the houses. It's kind of never come up. You know what I mean, about maximizing angles and stuff like that. Especially where I feel confidence that somebody buying a house, since I'm just taking the whole southern side and just beefing it, then you're gonna need you're gonna have what you need.
And Joe, you can adjust the solar panels to some extent with the mounts.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they can beef them up. I mean, for probably lack of the technical term, I'm sure if they needed the angles, they could shim them up one way or another. On their own mounting system if they needed to pick up some angles.
Joe, we've done some rooftop mounts on flat roofs, and you can pitch them side to side too.
Sure.
So you have the up and down or side to right to left.
Exactly. So I mean, but again, if that's all can be done with the mounting bracket system, but we're doing the important stuff to get it out of the way.
Right.
Other questions from members of the board?
I got a couple of questions for us to consider. Nathan, are you trying to clarify that the site itself provides for solar access and rather than the buildings? Is that the idea?
I took that a different direction. You can speak to the site. I was talking about the building, each building.
So, Mr. Beals, could you give us a little bit more data on, we understand, the lots are going in different directions and houses will clearly be oriented, not specifically for solar, but they will be oriented for what appears to be the best location on the lot, I would think. So Joe, you would adjust, I would obviously feel that the framing would be adjusted to whatever side of the house happens to be the one that faces to the south, predominantly to the south. But
correct, because like I said,
I think, I'm good with the thing, but I'm not sure if we will ever meet the perfection that's in the description that we're trying to shoot for, which is that we can't assume that every single lot in the site is going to be solar ready. We can only assume that maybe a majority are going to be solar ready. But if every house is built with this framing available for solar, then it appears to me that, he's met the letter of the intent, I guess, the best intent that we could ask for. I mean, otherwise we'd be micromanaging every single lot in the process, which I don't think we can do. So your experience, Joe, would be that you're going to make a best effort to align the roof and beef up the roof that needs to be beefed up in the direction of the south. In some cases, that may be, the front of the house, or the back of the house, or a garage roof, or whatever the case might be, I guess.
And again, too, because we're in New England and the styles of houses that you build in New England, the roof usually, there's different angles and pitches and gables that'll usually catch you what you need. So, like this house here, it just worked out. But even if this house was orientated the other way with the amount of roof it had, it would still have plenty of, roof surface to accommodate if somebody needed to go solar ready. It's just kind of the angles in the roof that we have. Like I said, it would have more than it would need,
You would have more than it would need on the front instead of the back, is what you're saying, right?
Well, whatever it would need, the southern side would always have more than enough total roof area.
I get it. Yeah, that's what I was
A
getting.
possible solar setup would need.
I think in this instance, the south side is the rear of the building. But to be clear, if the south side were the front of the building, and it's acceptable for people to have solar on the front of their buildings in this area, that would be the
Right.
roof that would be improved to handle the load.
Correct.
So it's the south, it is the south facing roof.
Correct.
So if we took an example of the small side road that's going, I guess, I don't know, make an example of something going east to west. On one side of the street, the houses would have the solar on the back. On the other side of the street, they'd have the solar on the front. And it's simple as that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just like our road here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, except in Ayer, people put them under trees and, on the wrong side of the house.
They don't own the S-Rex like you
Not
do.
you,
Ken.
Nathan. You're good.
They don't own the S-Rex like you guys. They give away the S-Rex. Okay, they rent the space.
It's a good point on Panther. The homes are going to be mostly facing east and west.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of the the roofs though will be, so if you have, if you have on the east side of the property facing into Panther, they're going to have a southern side of a gable end facing south, and there's always a different roof angle that's going to be facing south. There's always an angle hitting south.
Right.
Yeah. And no, I appreciate it. The drawings were illustrative of how you accomplish putting solar ready on a building. But as Mr. Levine said, those are not the drawings of the buildings going in here. They're just an example of how they accomplish the construction necessary for solar ready. Thank you. Other questions from the board? Deafeningly silent. Any questions from the public? I'm going to adjust my screen so I can see more. I don't think we have anybody else in the public who would like to speak. Okay. I think we're at a point to discuss the actual requested density bonus. Mark, do you want to put that back up on the screen?
Yes. I will, whoops, I have to wait for them to,
Yeah,
Yep,
he
great.
did.
okay, let's see.
Just having fun with you, Larry, when I said I like the picture of your dog. I live in fear of sharing the wrong thing,
Yeah.
It might be a bicycle. Watch what happens.
So I have a motion for a finding if the planning board is inclined to act on this evening, and I can read that first.
Please.
Also in blue, what you see here, number 1 and 2 are potential conditions of approval for the special permit. Basically asking, what they just showed us, documentation as to the solar access and for the solar ready construction. So we might want to look through those real quick to see if
Hey,
there's
Mark,
anything.
Could you
Yes,
please, my old eyes, could you please click on view and page
Right.
width?
yep.
Zoom?
Side by side or?
No,
Right.
click on the
Oh, there it
100%.
is.
Yeah,
Yep.
click on that and then select page width.
Page width, got it. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I put this on the big screen, you all look at the back of my head. So
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So basically, I won't read through every word here, but basically we're looking for documentation that could be submitted with the definitive plan application. What they showed us. I know at the previous meeting, Larry showed us also a concept for the solar access for the lots themselves, I believe. And I think that would make a good addition to the plan packet. So if everybody is okay with these conditions, they can go into the decision. And once we're okay with this, I'll read the finding, which somebody can make a motion on.
Mr. Para has a question, Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, so not so much a question as a concern. So I assume here that if the planning board votes to grant the requested density bonus, then the special permit that issues can't be conditional in this way, because you're putting it back into question as to the number of units. Special permit has to come to a conclusion on that. So with that said, to meet the intent, your intent, I think, and purpose with respect to paragraph 1, we would suggest that the condition require that that the building permits be conditional upon building plans being basically consistent with the plans that have been shown to you this evening for the purposes of the solar ready construction. The second condition, again, that's puts back into question the number of lots, and you can't create a special permit that's not a special permit. So with respect to that, I would respectfully submit that we've submitted sufficient information to the board to address the solar access component of that provision of the bylaw. I don't know what else we can put in that makes any sense, but we need to address it at this level. We can't go into the next stage wondering whether
Right, yes.
it's
And the number of,
26 or 23 or 22 or
right.
some other number.
Well, we have 2 each for the prior density bonus sections. And I believe this was 4 that were requested?
3.
3.
Yeah, it amounts to
Okay.
about 16% instead of the 25%.
Okay. So that could be in the finding, actually.
Any questions, any comments from the board members on 1 or 2?
Yeah, I have a comment on number 2.
Mhm.
I disagree with Mr. Power. I think that number 2 is about configuration. And I think that we can anticipate that even if we were to approve this special permit and grant the 3 additional units, I expect there's going to be vigorous discussion in the definitive plan about the layout of the lots themselves. And I want to reserve that right to have that discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Other board members have anything to say?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go ahead.
Mr. Yes, Ken.
I think we're trying to, I believe this is the first application that we've received under the OSRD that's asked for a density bonus for solar related construction and solar, layout of the property, for lack of a better term, and looking at the bylaw itself. So we are struggling a little bit with that. But I'm going to get back to the same concept that we talked about at the very beginning. The yield plan and all the other, and the fact that we're at a count of about 28. So because of the fact that they were potentially eligible for 25% increase, and they're not going to need to get to 25%, I think a case could be made that what I would like to see happen is that if we make a condition on that we would grant the special permit, but we have to grant the special permit, or we don't have a special permit, I guess I would agree with that. But ultimately, the applicant has the risk that if he goes to the goes to the building commissioner with an application, and in fact, application does not consist of the correct plans for solar ready construction, then I guess we would have the option of taking away the 3 bonus lots, but I don't know exactly how that would work out, legally. So I guess I'm more interested in getting it by the planning board and moving it on to the building commissioner, if that's a practice that we can work with Mr. Ashenbo.
Right. Why don't I read the finding that I had, because that might alleviate
Actually-
some of the concerns that Mr. Para had regarding the three and the specificity of the,
I'll let Jeff say
Well,
something.
Mark, actually, I'm gonna speak up for a moment, okay?
yes,
So number two, I'm gonna focus on that just now. It's fewer words.
Yeah.
Basic analysis, in the second sentence, a basic analysis of suitability of the streets and lots to optimize solar access, including but unlimited to sun path diagrams, lot specific diagrams, and any related discussions of the same. And I'm gonna back up for a minute. I look upon this two ways. I look upon this as economically feasible. I look upon this as perfect solar installation feasibility. And I know for a fact that most solar installations are not perfect solar installations, but they are economically feasible. So I come to this with the standing that the builder is looking at making these accessible to a technology that is attractive to people. He's doing what we can. He's doing what he's proving to us that the construction will support what's wanted, which is to the letter of the bylaw. And I don't know that we will ever get the nirvana of perfect solar installation. And I would argue that the technology itself hasn't moved forward in 25 years. It's just gotten cheaper. It still doesn't produce more per square foot in kilowatts.
It does, it absolutely does.
But anyway, so I'm not struggling with number two as much as I think other members are. I'll just put that out there. Because given it's difficult to be asked to say yes or no on something that has such an impact on a project and then say, oh no, we said yes, but we didn't like it now. We want to say no, which I think is what Mr. Pyra's point was. Not to argue on behalf of the applicant, but that's how I see the issue. So I'll just put that out there. But Mark, please go ahead.
yeah, I'll read a finding, and based on this, we may want to further amend the conditions or whatever. Planning board finds that the requirements to meet the solar access and solar ready construction density bonus per air zoning bylaw section 10.154 have been met to the satisfaction of the planning board. Planning board also finds that the number of density bonus slots under this section 10.154 is 3. So that addresses Mr. Parra's concern that we cite the number of additional lots per this section, which would be 3, and that would be added to the 4 that were added under the previous 2 density bonuses.
Yeah, for a clarification, Mark, that's a finding, but
Right, that's a finding.
the
Right.
finding doesn't necessarily, we need a motion to make it
Right. Well, the
so.
motion would be to, if the board is inclined this evening, the motion would be to approve the special permit request with the finding as I just read and with the conditions as written there, as may be modified.
I will apologize. Mark was reading his finding while I was determining the end time to our meeting.
Oh.
I shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah, we still have to discuss Catania.
Yeah, I know.
Certainly. Yes.
I don't want to hustle these guys. They've been patient and very helpful.
I know.
So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure that out.
So basically, just to reiterate real quick, if the planning board's inclined to vote on the special permit request this evening, the motion would be the special permit, the planning board grants the special permit for the density bonus, subject to the requirements of solar access and solar ready construction per air zoning bylaw section 10.154, and find that they have been satisfactorily met. Planning board finds that the number of density bonus lots under this section is 3.
Comments?
So if I may, Mr. Chairman,
Please.
I really have a great concern with these conditions, particularly condition number 2.
Mhm.
I mean, we've gone through the preliminary plan process probably in greater detail than usual. And the street configuration and lot configuration has gone through, multiple, variations, trying to, and I think successfully addressing, concerns raised by the planning board as we go. And I'm not saying that the lot lines are locked in stone. But I would ask that the planning board at least make a finding at this stage that the suitability of the streets is, for solar purposes, is fine, as shown on the plans. And again, the other requirements, they're really, they sound like they're useful, but they're really not, because the sun path diagram doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form if you don't know the orientation of the roof. On the so the max, and I appreciate that you're not looking for perfection, but the maximum, solar access efficiency is going to be determined and can only really be determined at the stage of submitting, plans for building permits. And so I have, no problem whatsoever with the condition that ensures, that at the time we submit applications for building permits, that those, designs be appropriate both for the purposes of the, the strength of the construction, et cetera, but also for the purposes of being suitable, providing a suitable southern exposure or an early southern exposure with sufficient roof area to provide, adequate solar access, in accordance with the standards that are current in Massachusetts. But we can't be looking at this as like a whole new configuration of lots or a whole new configuration of streets. We need to move this forward. And again, I know we're going to go through the definitive process. And I'm not saying that, lot lines are locked or that the streets, might not have some, minor changes as all the engineering is done and completed. But these conditions are just, I don't think they're useful, and I think they create problems for the board and for us.
Thank you.
Mr. Para, through Jeff to you, would you be amenable to taking away the second condition but keeping the first?
While you're thinking about, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
do you need time to
All
think
right.
about that, Mr. Para?
Yes.
If you want to take a moment to think about it, I was going to ask Mr. Levine a quick question, and that is, you got a guy who wants a solar house, no kidding. He comes to your salesperson and says, could you turn the house this way so I could have a perfect solar installation? Are you open to that type of conversation with a buyer if the house has not been built?
Sure. I mean, you hate saying no to buyers. You could turn it out anyway upside down if the guy's willing to pay for it. I don't care. But again, I think if I could just step in here and just talk to everybody, we're getting too much into this. I mean, you take the entirety of the southern part of the roof, you make sure it does it, you beef it up, and it's going to work. And it's going to comply. And then, and then at the end of the day, if I submit plans and it's not on there, I don't get my plans. I don't get a permit issued. I think any of these other discussions about conceptual drawings or plans, we are going to get beyond into the weeds And it's questions that can't be answered. You know, I can't tell, you know, this is a sizable subdivision, and to understand, you know, this is leading down a path of trying to lead me down a path to produce house plans for every single lot, which I can't do, which I won't do. But I think if you just said, yeah.
I appreciate that. And excuse me for kind of cutting you off, but we're going to keep moving forward. So, Mr. Parra, the question from Mark that was on the table when I interrupted you was, are you okay with striking number 2?
I'm certainly okay with striking number 2. I would like number 1 to be limited to, you know, the submission of plans, appropriate plans at the building permit stage.
Comments from other board members about that?
Well, that's what I suggested, so I'm going to agree with it.
Yep. Mr. King, Ms. Murray, Mr. Krantz?
Yeah, I concur. I think that, you know, as far as the big picture goes, you know, we've heard Mr. Levine's intent. That it sounds like his intent is every home he's going to find a south-facing roof and do this, which I think exceeds the bylaw.
How does the first one need to be rewritten to conform to Mr. Parra's suggestion? I don't feel comfortable voting on this until this is correctly stated.
Well, to try to simplify it, it would be that the density bonus, you know, for the solar ready construction is granted subject to the requirement that you know, solar ready plans are submitted to the building inspector for each lot as a condition of issuance of the building permit for such lot.
Let Mark get caught up, please. Thank you, Mark, for doing this.
Yeah, it needs to be tidied up, but that's my intent.
Yeah.
To the building commissioner. Okay, density bonuses for solar ready construction is contingent on solar ready plans being submitted to the building commissioner. There was something else that you had that I missed.
For, you know, for building permit.
Yeah.
As a condition of issuance of the building permit.
As a condition. All right.
Okay. And then strike the sentence before the sentences before that.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually okay with this. And the reason being, I think you have, you know, I think this is.
Actually, it should be the density bonus.
Yeah, the 3.
Yep. For solar ready construction is contingent on solar ready plans being submitted to the building commissioner as a condition for the issuance of building permits. Okay. And we'll strike number 2 as well, right?
Thank you.
All right.
Good night for you guys.
All right.
So Mark, could you please talk about the motion? So the finding is the density bonus for solar construction is contingent on solar ready plans being submitted to the building commissioner as a condition for the issuance of building permits. It seems redundant, but it's pretty clear.
Right. Yep. Okay. So my finding would be, you know, the planning board votes to grant the special permit with the finding that requirements to meet solar access and solar ready construction density bonus per air zoning bylaw section 10.1.54 have been met to the satisfaction of the planning board with the resultant number of lots being 3. That's just for the solar ready because we've already issued the other ones.
Okay, it's an additional 3 lots for the solar ready. Yep.
Right. Yep.
And then this finding goes in there. The density bonus for solar ready construction.
Condition.
Yep.
I'm sorry, this condition goes in the finding. Thank you.
Yep.
Comments from other board members? Are you all on board with this? Only because I'm going to hit the accelerator pretty soon. We got a lot to do in 25 minutes to get it done in. Yeah. Any questions from anybody in the general public who might be watching or other people? Hearing none, I accept the motion. It looks like we're at that point.
I may struggle with the wording, and I encourage anyone to leap in and help me, but here's where I'm going to start. I make a motion to approve the special permit for the
Excuse me, Jonathan. Mark, would it be easier for Jonathan if you had it on the screen? What you just mentioned?
Findings.
I'd have to type it in, but.
No, that's okay.
Oh.
Jonathan, go ahead. I thought you were reading something, Mark. I can't tell.
No,
Go ahead,
what I
Jonathan.
was
Oh, well,
gonna do-
yeah, I wrote it down in handwriting here, but
What I was going to do is reference the finding as Mark the town planner had read into the record. Is that sufficient?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve the special permit for the solar density bonus of 3 units per the finding read into the record by town planner Mark Archambault, and the condition that the density bonus for solar ready construction is contingent on solar ready plans being submitted to the building commissioner as a condition for the issuance of building permits.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded by Ms. Murray. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. I think that brings us to the closing of the hearing for the special permit for the requested density bonuses for the proposed subdivision. Am I correct?
You're closing the
So, thank you.
entire hearing.
I'm sorry, 2 people were talking.
So you just closing the hearing for 0 Washington Street.
Yep.
All 3, okay?
Mr. Parra, you were saying something? I'm sorry. I was.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. So I need a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded by Ms. Murray. Mr. King?
Aye.
Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your patience in working with us.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Great. I'm going to move us quickly to the public hearing. Special permit, 1 Nemco Way, Catania, Spania, oils building addition within Aquifer Protection Overlay District. And we also have a site plan review for 1 Nemco Way, Catania, Spania, oils building addition. I need a motion to open.
Need to
Make
read
a
the ad.
motion. Yep.
I'm sorry, Ken?
Do you need to read the ad first or the opener first?
I printed it out. Jonathan, I don't think you printed it out, did you? Okay, gentlemen. First thing, and I appreciate you dealing with us being a little short here, but let me get this going and then we'll introduce folks from all around. So this was the submission to the local newspaper, Planning Board Special Permit and Site Plan Applications, Catania, Spania, Oils, 1 Nemco Way. The Town of Ayer Planning Board will conduct a remote public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021, regarding the application of Catania, Spania Oils for property located 1 Nemco Way. The applicant is seeking a special permit from the Ayer zoning bylaw, section 8.1.4 C3 use regulations, uses allowed by special permit, for any site work resulting in more than 15% or 2,500 square feet of impervious area in the Aquifer Protection Overlay District. The special permit will be heard alongside a site plan review for the same address for a proposed 51,480 square foot building addition to an existing building on a 9.82 acre lot located at 1 Nemco Way. In addition to the building expansion, site improvements included as part of the site plan, including parking lot layout changes and new storm water systems. Application and plans can be mailed or emailed by contacting the Planning Board office at 978-772-8218 or hampson@ayer.ma.us. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed plan is advised to call or email the Planning Board office by March 15th, 2021, or are free to call into the meeting that will be live streamed on APAC. There will be a phone number provided on the screen during the meeting, signed Ayer Planning Board. Good evening, all, and let's open the meetings. We need a motion to open.
Make a motion, we open the meeting to review the site plan for 1 Nemco Way.
May I ask you to also open the public hearing for the special permit request?
Heather, can we do it in the same one or we need to do 2? Heather?
You can open the public hearing stating that it's coinciding with the site plan.
Okay.
they'll be heard, continuously or, coinciding.
Okay,
Alright.
so.
Otherwise I gotta stop what we're talking
I
about.
make a motion that we open the public hearing for the special permit and the site plan review for One Nemco Way.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I want to take a second and say welcome to all the people who just showed up on my screen. I also apologize. I understand there was a meeting earlier today. I was unable to attend. Been looking forward to this. And I also understand some stuff got going. Could I just ask somebody to take a moment and introduce the team from Catania?
I can introduce the team. My name is Scott Whitney with Concord Building Services. I'm the design builder that's been working on the project with Catania for the past year and a half or so. Then I'm going to turn it over to Paul Chisholm with Keach Nordstrom Associates. He's the lead for the civil engineering firm.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Paul Chisholm with Keach Nordstrom. I am here with Bridget Sousa, also of Keach Nordstrom. Dan Brackett and Joseph Basile are also here from Catania. I see Dan's got a thumbs up on his screen. So I think Bridget's going to give you an overview of the project here, and then we can turn it over to you folks for questions. And
Yep. So Paul, we're gonna. I got two people talking right as you said that. So hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Jonathan, you held your finger up.
Yeah, should we make a motion to just accept the site plan and special permit application is complete?
Mr. Chair, I would caution against that because of something that we discussed today having to do with the pond.
So yeah,
there are some complicating factors that might affect the timing of when we open the hearings. So
yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that though. And Bridget, I'm sorry to cut you off before you got started, but one of the things we want to make sure we don't do is start a clock ticking if we got something we can't control. I was not at the meeting today, and we recognize Catania's a great resident here in Ayer, and we don't want to be in a situation where we're asking for continuous extensions. Doesn't help anybody. So what I was going to ask Mark to do quickly was to just, he was at the meeting. I think Mr. Diskin was at the meeting. Who else was at the meeting this morning?
Mr. Wetzel.
Mr. Wetzel was there. Mr. Brackett was there.
Catania, all the people.
And folks from Catania. Okay.
Yep.
So Mark, why don't you?
Joanne was there too.
And Joanne Christoph from the Conservation Commission, our conservation agent. Okay. Mark, why don't you bring the board up to speed on what happened? I know you brought me up to speed on it today, but we got to do it. I want to do it in the public forum.
Right. The purpose of the earlier meeting was basically to go through the very technical engineering related comments that the DPW had regarding everything from the stormwater system to drainage to piping under the lot. And in the course of that discussion, our conservation administrator noted that the Conservation Commission is currently researching whether the pond, the small pond that would be replaced by the 51,840 square foot building addition, in the past, it was thought that that was most likely a stormwater structure, that it wasn't a pond that would be under the jurisdiction of the Wetland Protection Act. However, according to the Conservation Commission, that may not be so. And so they're currently reviewing a notice of intent that Catania has filed with them. And in the course of that NOI review, they will make a decision as to the status of that pond, whether it's actually a pond subject to the Wetland Protection Act, or if it's just a stormwater basin basically that could be filled, and that's about it. It's not under their jurisdiction. Now, if it is under their jurisdiction, it could take a little while to resolve the various issues that would go into the ability to fill that pond to make the addition possible. And the conservation administrator mentioned that may require an Army Corps of Engineers permit due to the size of the pond. So, this is something that I thought was resolved in the past, but apparently in the last week it came up again as an issue. So my concern from the planning board's perspective is that if we open the site plan and special permit hearings now, and the Conservation Commission rules that it is indeed a wetland, their process could take quite a while, and we would be stuck sort of in a limbo zone with, as Jeff mentioned, continuing the case, seeking extensions while the Conservation Commission got its permitting in order. So,
Mark?
But we have.
yes,
Unfortunately, with the submission of the application being stamped in by the clerk, it's already, the clock's already started. It's already an
Okay.
accepted plan.
right.
And you did already open the hearings and posted the meeting. So the only thing to do would be, if you don't want to act on it, is to act for withdrawal and then move on from there. Otherwise, it's already, the clock's already started on that.
Right.
So you
And
can't.
that was my next, yeah, that was going to be my next point, was that, yes, we would seek the applicant to withdraw for now, withdraw
Well,
without prejudice.
You don't have to
And of
withdraw.
course, if this is the course that the planning board agrees to, and of course, we would waive any fees in the future since you already paid the application fees.
So Mark, before we go down that road, if you don't mind, Mr. Diskin, you had a comment to make? And people from Catania, thank you for being patient, but this came up today, so we want to catch everybody up to speed. Mr. Diskin, you were going to say?
Yeah, I'd like to have the professionals from, Paul Chisholm and Bridget summarize a little bit further what we found out today, because I'm not taking a panicky view about this at all. And I'd like to make sure we're on board with what they've talked about internally.
And I'm going to say one thing, guys. I got an 8:15 hard stop, and I apologize. So it's not that I don't like you. It's just. But okay. So with that being said, I guess Bridget, you were on tap.
Yeah, Paul, do you want me to talk about that? Or you?
Yeah, I guess I can start, and Bridget, please jump in, or Scott, please jump in to kind of back me up if I forget anything here.
And excuse me, I'm also going to say, guys, we're going to not get the update and the minutes done tonight. We're going to stay with Catania. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Paul. Go ahead.
No problem.
Preempt a little bit.
Sorry.
Paul, if you want, I can kind of preempt a little bit.
Sure. Go ahead, Scott. Yes. Yep.
So as you know, we have applied for an NOI for the project with Concom, and we do know that an issue came up. It's basically a determination that's being addressed by our wetland scientist group, which is Epsilon. They were not present on today's technical review meeting because we didn't know that that was going to be discussed. So there has been correspondence between Epsilon and Joanne. And basically what we're going to do is try and narrow down Joanne's specific questions in regards to the pond so that we can provide any additional information that may be out there. We do feel that one of her comments about the compensatory area is a mute issue because we do have the entire history on that compensatory area. So we think that issue is going to be resolved. And then there's just the topic of the pond and the history and the development of the pond. But I'm very confident that we have a second hearing coming up on April 8th with the NOI and Concom. And I'm very confident by then we will have addressed those comments to the point where Concom will be satisfied and make a determination one way or another.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's the April 8th meeting, which I'm now putting in because I got nothing else going on Thursday nights. Okay, great. Paul and Bridget, you want to give us some more? Because we are interested in the project. We really are. It's just,
sure. I mean, I think Scott actually summarized that particular issue very, very well. That's really all there is to it at this point, where we think we have enough to provide the Conservation Commission to be able to make an informed decision on that issue. And I think what we learned today was that essentially not only Joanne, but the rest of the commission will have to be involved in that in order to kind of finalize that decision as we move forward. So we look forward to that. Would it help to get into a brief overview of the project if I let Bridget kind of walk you through just generally what it is, share the screen, go through the plans and that sort of thing?
I'd like to use the time that way if it's okay with the rest of the board. I think we're all we're all interested in doing it, and what you'll discover is this board does an awful lot of work individually between meetings, given our limitations of Zoom, so why don't you?
All right, Bridget, it's all yours.
Okay, I'm just gonna share my screen then. So good evening, name's Bridget Souza with Keach Nordstrom on behalf of Tanya Oil. So the project site is at 1 Nemco Way. And the proposed work includes the construction of a 51,480 square foot building located in this area above what is that stormwater pond there. Proposed work will also include parking improvements, both for employees and for temporary trailer parking. Relocating this existing access drive further down away from the intersection with Westwood Road. And also include, which is the bulk of the work, stormwater improvements. So as existing, our site handles a very large volume of flow from this Mulberry Circle subdivision located to the west of the site. So flow from this area is collected by a series of catch basins and piped to our site and through it to this stormwater ponds, where it eventually outlets into the existing wetlands located within the railway loop here. So the construction of the addition will require the dewatering of this existing stormwater pond on the site, and driveway relocation will eliminate a small infiltration basin as well. So we will be proposing to construct a dual system where we will have both infiltration and detention through a pipe system. So let me just switch to that.
And by the way, while you're switching, if anybody has something to add, I can't see your pictures, just speak up, please.
And Bridget, could you show us where this installation would go?
Yep. So you should see it now. So this is where the existing infiltration pond is.
It's off our screen, Bridget. It's down,
Yeah,
it's
we
off
have
the
the
bottom of
previous
our
one.
screen.
I think you have to unshare and then share the news.
Okay, I got you. This is the right one now.
And seriously, people, speak up because I can't see your pictures when I'm looking at plans.
Can everyone see that now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so this is that existing infiltration pond. We would relocate the driveway entrance over that. And we would provide.
Excuse me, that's Nemco Way to the right?
Yes, this is Nemco
Thank
Way.
you. With the new parking stalls on the side of the road. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so we would provide a pipe system that has enough storage volume that equates to what is existing out there between that infiltration pond and the other stormwater pond that would be filled in for the addition.
That's a subsurface pipe system?
Yeah, subsurface, and then the portion over the existing infiltration pond, this area would be infiltration. It would be lined with a filter fabric. And then the remaining of the system would be lined with a PVC HDPE liner to prevent infiltration, so it would act as just detention. And part of the improvements would include installing some water quality units for pretreatment. And I just want to point out that, and part of the improvements, we would keep the off-site flows that go into the system in its own separate line here, the 30-inch that ends up going to 36. It has its own treatment unit, and it would empty into the system. And then we have our catch basins in the parking lot area routed to another water quality unit into the system. And then on the backside here, this is sort of the high point here. So this will be collected by another series of catch basins, trench drains in the loading dock area, piped around the building, treated with a water quality unit here. And then we would utilize the existing outlet to the wetlands for discharge.
And this whole entire system will become subsurface at this point.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. So it all becomes invisible and underground.
Correct.
Okay. And I know you had somebody from I think Mr. Wetzel from the DPW was at the meeting today also?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know we've been talking about that. What else can you guys share with us? I apologize for being so late, but What else would you like to share with us this evening?
I mean, the DPW will have comments about just facility procedures and whatnot that we have discussed with them earlier today about, you know, providing narratives about those materials, you know, storage of them, what the plant is actually doing inside. Also, you know, coordinating easements with the sewer force main that's back here for Stony Brook. There's a pump station here
Yep.
that the DPW is obviously concerned about maintaining access to. So we'll be putting together some information for those concerns, as well as providing a little more detail. These plans are, you know, at 50 scale. So we will be looking at providing some more detailed plans at a 20 scale so that they're comfortable with what's going on back here, and, you know, for future construction purposes, you know, spot grades, just a little more detail, etc. Paul, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I just want to say that, you know, obviously this is quite the undertaking, shifting a stormwater pond from an above ground system on one side of the site to a subsurface system on the other. It certainly hasn't been done in jest. We've done a ton of work and about a year and a half of due diligence to get to this point, including several rounds of geotechnical exploration, test pits, ledge probes, soil analysis, all of that stuff. So it's something that's been in the works for a while. It's something that we looked at very preliminarily early on to make sure that it's even feasible, and then kind of develop the plans again over about a year and a half, which is certainly longer than normal for a project of this scale, I would say. So I ultimately, you know, I think we're hoping to get DPW to be very comfortable with the system. I think we had a very productive conversation today. We certainly heard their concerns, and we look forward to working with them, to continue to work with them, and as well with the Concom and with you folks to move this project forward. So
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm going to be rude and cut us all off at this point. I hate to say it, and I do appreciate your patience with me. I'm already off the clock. I'm already over the clock, and I have to apologize to APAC, but I do appreciate it. No, and thank you, Bridget. That was very helpful, to be honest with you. I'd like to say a couple things, and we've been able to do these offline if possible. I just got a permission for a couple more minutes. You can't see my screen, but somebody up above just said you got a few more. I think a site walk is probably something that would be helpful. To be honest with you, and I don't know when we can do that, but it's the wrong use of our time right now to do that. But if I can ask Mark Archambault, the planner, to get with whomever, we can figure that out. But we'd love to come over and take a look at it and for a site walk, because I've been on the planning board long enough to remember the last request for the rail line changes. So I've seen the property. Everyone else has kind of been driven by it, but it's going to be very helpful for all of us. Also, so that you know, members of this board have done subsurface systems in the past. Mr. Wetzel just came alive on my screen, and I'm going to ask him if he's got anything to say.
Well, I just woke up. No, I just wanted to mention, I can either go out with Mark and kind of give him a tour of some of our infrastructure out there and some of our concerns, or meet with the board when they do that. I did prepare a draft review. We discussed a lot of my questions about that today, and I assume those are going to get addressed, and then I'll finish up and submit a report to the planning board, as well as I can give a presentation at one of the future meetings.
I appreciate that. I actually read through your comments today, Mark. Thank you very much. So with that said, I'm going to have to ask that we pause where we are right now. Any input from the board or from the public?
Just something real quick. I just want to make it. I don't expect this to be answered at this meeting, but I think it's fair to bring it up now so that the applicant's prepared for the next one. And that is, and again, forgive my ignorance, but with the above surface stormwater systems, the inspection is pretty straightforward because you could see it. And I know we've done subsurface before, but for the next meeting, if you'd be prepared about, because of the complexity of the subsurface design, about what's in place to facilitate inspections to be sure that it's performing correctly. I'd like to know more about that at our next meeting. Thank you.
I was going to say we need an O&M, so pretty much. Great. Anything else that we can take care of right now? Mr. Brackett, is it Basile? Thank you very much, and appreciate your here. There's a lot of good work going on, and I know, Mark, also, would you please share with the applicant the comments we've received already from Board of Health and Public Safety?
Yes.
If you haven't already shared them, I'd appreciate that.
Yep. The board
Okay,
should make
great.
a motion to continue to the April 13th planning board meeting. Good news about that meeting is we've had special permit drop off, and also the traffic study for McDonald's is going to
Yeah.
take to the next meeting. So actually we might be
You
able to
guys
devote
have the floor at this point. So I
most of
accept
the
it.
next meeting. Yes.
Make a motion to continue the public hearing for the site plan and the special permit at 1 Nemco Way to our next meeting on April 13th, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Seconded by Ms. Murray. Thank you very much. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Murray.
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So just to put a tie bow about it, we'll be in touch with you about a possible site walk at a mutually agreeable time. And I will work with Mark and Mr. Wetzel to go out and take a look at that, at our subsystem too, because he may not be able to make our site walk later in the thing. Appreciate your patience with our lack of time, gentlemen and ladies. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Have
Cheers.
a great evening.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yep. I'm gonna push. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Let's do. I'm gonna use three or 4 more minutes. Can we just take care of the minutes, please, from February 22nd and March 9th? Are we ready? Asking
Yeah,
the board
Yep.
to approve minutes on the. Let's get those taken care of.
Yeah. Let me get my, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Air Planning Board for February 23rd, 2021.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
Ms. Murray,
Aye.
Mr. Krantz,
Aye.
chair votes aye. And please do it for the March 9th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes, the Air Planning Board minutes for March 9th, 2021.
Seconded.
Seconded by Ms. Murray. Thank you. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
Ms. Murray,
Aye.
Mr. Krantz,
Aye.
chair votes aye. I appreciate everything everybody did to get tonight done. I really do. Any comments from anybody in the audience? Thank you very much, APAC. I will take a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Seconded.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.